Hey everybody, this is Richard with System X Designs in Athens, Georgia. Wanted to take a quick moment today to talk to you guys about controlling that messaging that's important. That when people are talking about your business online, where are they doing it? How are they doing it? What kind of impact does it have on you or your business? So I wanted to go through and I want to talk to you about some of the solutions that we provide clients and kind of talk to you about how you can put a strategy in place for your organization. So, talking about this online visibility, which is broken down into many, many parts, we're going to try to simplify them. There will be a series of these videos. This one, we're going to talk about a specific topic. We're going to get into that now. So, all in all, when we're talking about controlling the messaging around our organization, we have to know where that conversation is taking place. So, we help organizations answer this question: where is the best place to hide a body? And as long as we understand where the best place to hide a body is, we can try to avoid being that dead, soulless corpse that everybody's talking bad about, which happens on the second page of Google because nobody ever looks there. We want to make sure that we stay off that second page of Google, onto the front page for whatever terms are relevant to our business, and specifically in the locations where we're trying to target our customers. So to get started, did you know that depending on the search term, Google will return different result layouts? And so, for example, like I said, I'm in Athens, Georgia, so most of our examples are going to be local. If I Google for a tree removal service in Athens, Georgia, it will return this business listing layout. However, if I were to search for something like how to tie shoes, it will return a completely different layout that you'll see has like a wiki article here. It's got some common questions here, some videos down here. It's a very different layout, right? You probably already knew this. You've definitely seen the different kinds of layouts, whether you're paying attention to it or not. And for this presentation, we're going to be focusing on the layout that's used for businesses. It's broken down into three primary sections that we want to talk about. The first one is paid ads. You guys have all seen these. They're not always present, but in any competitive market, any decent sized area, they're going to be present. And basically those sponsored ads, people are paying to be there. It brings in almost 20% of the clicks, roughly about 19. The next section is where your local SEO happens. That's your maps listings. It's where they'll list out businesses. And that gets just over half of all the clicks that come through. And then below that, you have your organic SEO, or the individual listings of web pages, which brings in just about 30%. Those individual web pages are not necessarily websites. It can be a page from within a site. Due to the limited time that we have today, we're going to focus on the section that draws in the most clicks, which is that local area in the middle. It's that business listings. That's the part that we're really going to touch on today. And we want to talk about how we dominate that local 3-pack. This is an example of a 3-pack. The 3-pack is commonly referred to because it has 3 primary listings. And then down below it, it has more places that you can click on. And so that more places, whatever that returns, options 4 through 20 or whatever it ends up being, that is considered the second page of Google. The amount of clicks that come first through third place, in this example, these top 3, the amount of clicks that come through here are significantly higher than any of the clicks that come through this more places. So that's where we want to be. We want to be inside this 3-pack. How do we get there? Well, there's several what's called ranking indicators. Ranking indicators is a super nerdy term, and basically it's just things that Google is looking for that indicate that you should be in that 3-pack. And so we don't have time to go through all of them. We just want to go through some of the ones that are most common, most powerful, the simplest ones that you can start using for your business today. So we're going to start out with a question. Which of these companies are you going to call first? I searched for Athens Landscaping, and this is the 3-pack that we get. So all things being equal, which one would you call first? I'll give you a second to look through it. And would you believe that more than 90% all agree on one of these 3? 90% of people or more that we interview with this go with this top one, this precision landscape management. And why do they do that? What are the differences? Well, when we start looking through what the differences are, we kind of know some of the things that are the same. The distance, or what Google calls proximity, is almost identical. And in this example, it's also not only identical, it's also irrelevant because a landscaping company comes to me. I don't bring my landscaping to them, they come to me. So it's much less of a ranking indicator for this particular example, but even if it were, they're almost identical. And then you also see that they're categorized the same. All of them are, their primary category is listed as a landscaper. By the way, those two things are huge ranking indicators for Google. And so if those are the same, what's the difference? And you guys already know it. The reviews are the key differentiator. Option 1 has the highest rating and the most reviews. Option 2 doesn't have any reviews. And option 3 has a pretty decent rating, but it's got only a few reviews. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that we obviously need good reviews and that we need a lot of them. And so what are they worth? Let's quantify this. Well, I'm really big on the mentality of if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. I don't ever want to guess at anything, especially in business. I want to control as many variables as I can so that we can get as accurate as possible. And so as we start looking through this, Google provides us with some tools that allows us to check, volumes of searches and things like that. And as it turns out, Athens landscaping is searched approximately 150 times per month. Out of that 150 times per month, that comes out to be 1,800 per year. And we talked earlier how we know about 52% of those clicks go through that local maps pack. So out of 1,800 searches per year for the term Athens landscaping, 52% of them, that's 936 clicks that go into that maps pack. So in order for us to get to the bottom of this, there's a couple of assumptions that we have to agree on. First, that everyone that's searching for this term is also a potential customer, other than me, who's obviously using it as an example. Anybody that's looking for Athens landscaping is obviously a potential customer for landscaping services in the Athens area. And next, I don't know how many of you have ever paid for landscaping services, but there's just not much that you can get for under $500. So we're going to say at the very conservative estimate that the average landscaping customer is worth $500 to a landscaping company. And if we can agree on all of these things, then we're a lot closer to quantifiably understanding what these reviews are worth. And if we can agree, then this is what they're worth. This is what they're worth. You think about that. More than 90% of people in our example, more than 90% are going to click on that option that had the best and most reviews. Out of 90% of this 936 clicks, that means we're getting 844 of them. If 844 of them are worth $500 each, we're starting with a potential pool of $422,000. Now, let me clarify. I am not trying to indicate that every one of the customers who is going to search for this term and click through is going to convert into a customer. What I'm saying is that it is the potential. We're starting with a potential pool of $422,000 based on our click-through if we can agree that $500 per customer is a conservative estimate. And so you see that the most people that don't choose the first option would have chose the third one that had pretty decent reviews or pretty decent ratings, just not many reviews. And so they would start with about 37,000, and then the last one that didn't have any reviews starts with under 10,000. So let's assume that even if I'm wrong, let's say I'm wrong by half. Which one of these would you want to start with? You want to start with less than $20,000, less than $5,000, or around $200,000? Your click-through ratio is absolutely vital in this example, and obviously we would want to start with the pool with the most money. So it's important that we're able to draw in as many of those clicks as we can. But it's not just important for our click-through ratio. It's also important to consumers. According to Bright Local, who does a lot of these types of surveys and studies, 91% of consumers read online reviews about local businesses. 84% of them trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation from a friend. I want you to stop and think about that for a second. That's true with not only the good reviews, but that's also true with the bad reviews. They trust what they're reading from complete strangers as much as they would the personal recommendation of a trusted source. 73% of consumers think that the reviews that are older than 3 months, they're irrelevant. And most consumers look at 2 or more reviews before they make a decision. So it's obviously crucial to the consumers. And most importantly, it's now a ranking indicator for local SEO. Did not used to be, but it is now. Google wants to be a recommendation engine. In other words, what they want to do is they want to be able to recommend a business that is providing a solution to whatever you're searching for, and they want you to enjoy whatever they recommend to you. Therefore, they are now considering your ratings as a ranking indicator to see whether or not they're going to put you in that 3-pack. It's absolutely vital. What that means is, even if you were ignoring your reviews before, you can no longer afford to do so any longer because it is a ranking indicator. Why don't these reviews just happen automatically? Well, as it turns out, when interviewed, we came up with basically 3 reasons that people don't leave reviews just automatically. First, they don't have time. They just think it would take too long to go find all the different online pages where you leave reviews. It would just be too time consuming. I forgot is a big crucial one. Well, basically, it's out of sight, out of mind. Your customer leaves that transaction, whatever transaction they were doing with you, and then once they walk out of your building, they never think about it again. Or they simply don't know how. They don't possess the technical expertise to go locate your pages across the different social media review platforms in order to actually lead the review. So these are the big 3 excuses on why they don't happen. Not really excuses, these are legitimate reasons, but either the people don't have time, they forget to do it, or they don't know how. Now luckily, we're going to overcome 2 of these 3 objections the same way. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to make it convenient. We have to streamline the process so that the customer can leave the online review in a matter of seconds. That takes care of the I don't have time people. Then we have to figure out a way to systematically remind your customers to come back and leave that review. It's not enough for us to just ask our customers when they're in our store. I don't care if you train your entire employee staff. It just doesn't happen. We have to have a way to automatically, systematically remind those customers. And then we have to make it easy for them. We have to provide step-by-step instructions, simplifying every step of the process, providing them direct links to it, screenshots on how to leave the reviews, etc. And if we make it that simple, it will also be convenient. So in other words, we're going to solve the I don't have time crowd and the I don't have the technical expertise crowd at the same time. We'll handle these automatic reminders a little bit differently. So how do we make it easy? Well, there's a couple things you can do. First, we can put buttons that are prominently displayed on websites so that a customer who's already there can click on it, and we can go about it that way. We can also do that same process, but in a bunch of different places. For instance, I don't know how many reviews you get, or how many emails you get, rather. I get hundreds. I can't keep up with them. But if I put this review invitation in my email signature, then every time I send an email, I'm again asking for an online rating. We can use QR codes. We can use simple URL redirects. There's a lot of places that we can do this. We can do it on social media. We can do it in printed materials or commercials or ads, email campaigns, receipts, invoices, etc. You see an example of this little business card from Woodchuck. There's a couple of different, there's a lot of different ways that we can ask for people to take their time to leave us a review, especially on mobile devices. That's absolutely crucial. But where are we sending them? Let's say we're going to use this QR code or that button or the simple URL redirect. Where are we sending them to? Well, we want to send them to a filtering system. And the one that we use basically asks them the question of, did they have a good or a bad experience? I think we can agree that you would want to handle somebody who had a good experience a little bit differently than somebody who had a bad experience. So in order for us to know how to handle that person, we have to ask them the question. If they indicate that they had a good experience, then we need to treat them in a way that we start immediately streamlining it, making it convenient and easy. So if they click on I had a good experience, they will be looking at these logos. These example logos, you see that Google is more prominently displayed. It's because that is the one that's most important for this business because it's a ranking indicator. Facebook is another one. There are a lot of other options that we can link to. For instance, and a lot of them are, kind of industry specific. If you're, a doctor, then RateMDs is probably much more important for you. If you are like an electrician or a carpenter, Angie's List might be more important for you. Yelp does a lot with restaurants. So it just kind of depends on your business model, but we can link to many, many of these different positive, any of these review sites. And so when they click on any of these logos, we can handle that in one of two ways. We can take them straight to the review page. Google makes it really easy. You can click on that Google button, and as soon as you click on that button, it would take you to a page where you actually just immediately start leaving the rating and review, assuming you're logged in. Some sites, Facebook for example, make it a little bit more complicated. They're not nearly as prominently displayed. And so in this example, we might want to show them screenshots to be able to go through and see step by step how they do it. You see there's instructions, there's pictures that they should be able to see, and then when they click on this button, click here to review us on Facebook, that's when it would take them over and they would follow these step-by-step instructions. So again, we're making it quick, simple, easy for them to get to. But what happens if they didn't have a good experience? If somebody had a bad experience, we want to handle them differently. We certainly don't want to invite them, let alone tell them how, to go tell the world about their bad experience. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer them a different route. Most frustrated customers don't actually want to just go set your business on fire on all the different social media platforms. What they're looking for, if they're a frustrated client, is normally they want to be heard. They want to be acknowledged, and they want the problem that they experience to be resolved. So what we're going to do is we're going to take them to a contact form that allows us to handle that negative experience offline. This form will generate an email. We can configure it to go whoever you want to. Normally it's a sales manager, some kind of other manager. And what it does is it allows that problem to be resolved without hitting the negative reviews on social media. It's just a way for you to offer them a different way to contact you, and then you can handle it without ever having to get just blasted on social media sites. So that largely takes care of how to make it easy, how to make it streamlined and convenient. How do we handle the other crowd though? How do we go through and how do we take these automatic reminders and systematically start drawing those people back in to leave us the reviews that we need? And you see on here, we want to be persistent, but we don't want to be annoying. And so what we do is we use a marketing email drip campaign. Whether you understand that term or not, you've already been in a marketing email drip campaign, inevitably. Basically what it is, it's a pre-written schedule of emails that go out automatically. And so for an example, on day one, we'll load in a batch of 100 of your previous clients. You can do this with text messages. You can do it with emails. For this example, we're going to look at the emails. You load them up 100 at a time. You see a pre-written email that goes out. And out of that, we're going to say that 12 people leave you a review, 15 people unsubscribe from it. Now, if they took action, and what we mean by taking action is they click through on the review us or they click through on the unsubscribe, they are now dropped from the other emails so that we don't annoy them. So on day 3, in this example, there would be 73 emails that go out. There would be 100 from the original, and then minus these people that already took some kind of action, leaves us 73 emails that are going to go out. In this example, we'll say that we got 5 more reviews, 15 more people unsubscribed. We send out another batch on day 7. The remaining 53 people get another reminder. Maybe we get 3 more reviews, another 14 unsubscribe. So on day 10, we send out the remaining 36 emails. Let's say we get 1 more of these reviews. So what's the result of all that? What did that yield us? Well, in this example, 100 automated emails generated 21 online reviews for us. A lot of these companies who either have very few ratings and reviews or maybe not even very good ones that don't accurately represent their business, the problem that they have is they don't have a more systematic way to go get new good reviews. Well, that's what we offer them. A lot of times they do have either cell phone numbers or email addresses. And so in this example, 21 new online reviews. That's huge. What's that worth to your business? Well, a few minutes ago, we agreed that this is what it was worth. So if we're talking about 21 different online ratings and reviews, how much do you think that would be worth to this guy or this guy? Obviously, if you can start closing the gap on this large disparity of the ratings and reviews, that click-through ratio of 422,000 starts looking a lot more attractive for some of these other people that are in the three-pack. Maybe if you were in the fourth or fifth position, but you started nailing 21 reviews, maybe that's enough to push you over the edge to get you into the three-pack when you weren't even previously in it. So what's that 21 new positive reviews worth? Man, it's you can't even overstate the value of it, because what it will do for your click-through ratio and your rankings is just absolutely vital. So to review this in summary for this section, the ratings and reviews are now a ranking indicator for local SEO. It means you can't afford to ignore them, especially on Google, which is the vast majority, it's the largest search engine in the world. You just can't afford to ignore your ratings and reviews if you expect to have a serious online presence. Furthermore, we talked about how consumers actually trust and really do go read the online ratings and reviews. So if your first impression, that opportunity to make a first impression is through your online ratings and reviews, we want to make sure we control that conversation so that we make it a positive first impression. So we want to use a strategy to gain positive reviews. Simply asking our customers for the feedback is just not enough. You should have a strategy in place, and that strategy should have multiple goals. The first goal that it should have is that it should generate positive reviews through email campaigns, social media. It should have multiple ways of streaming in those positive reviews, especially with the automatic reminder system, which is just absolutely huge. And next, we want to decrease the negative reviews by providing an alternative method of communication, being able to handle it offline, not through the online social media channels, but to provide them a way to contact you and get it resolved without it hitting your online social media presence. So I know that this is a lot of information. Luckily, you can go back through, we're recording this, so you can go back through and watch this as many times as you want to. If you'd like to get a copy of these slides, you can do so by going to systemxdesigns.com/webinar. We're going to have these, and we're going to do a complete set. This one was more geared toward local SEO, specifically ratings and reviews as a ranking indicator of local. We're going to break out multiple different sections of these, and they'll always be available to you in the webinar area of the site, where you can go through, you can check out the slides, you can rewatch the videos as many times as you want to, and hopefully you can either use us or do it in-house or use somebody else, but start implementing these strategies into your business so that you can really start making a big impact in that online presence that we need. Again, my name is Richard Worley with System X Designs. We're located out of Athens, Georgia, but we have clients all over the United States. If you'd like us to give you a hand or provide you any free reports, you can find some free report tools on our website at System X Designs. And you can go on there and you can see a free automated report of exactly what your current local SEO status is right now. And it gives you everything that you need to know about what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, maybe some opportunities for improvement, so that you can start taking control of that online reputation of yours. And if you have any other questions, need any additional services, please feel free to reach out to us directly. There's some contact information on the website. You also see it on your screen here. We look forward to working with you. Have a great day.